Man, I am shocked. I'm shocked that interview went as well as I thought it did. I'm recording this before I even release it, but it's actually a day after long story behind the scenes here. This is going to be kind of a post-mortem after the Cirilla interview. I would encourage, if you have not watched it yet, really ought to watch that interview. You probably won't regret it before you watch this one.
Don't let your kids watch it!
This is kind of a post-mortem. I want to give my thoughts, a day later. I recorded this on a Friday evening. Now it's Saturday evening. I'm releasing it on a Sunday. So I've had, 24 hours to digest what you guys just saw maybe a few hours ago. So there's a lot. There's a lot there. Why am I shocked, first of all? I'm shocked because, frankly, this is probably like the 6th or 7th Plarium interview that I've had over the last 40 years. And generally, they always go, let me put something on the background here. Sorry, guys. Generally, they always go like, okay, I love doing them, but I know there's always mixed feedback from you guys because, frankly, even though I ask most of the questions that you guys want me to ask, the answers just generally aren't that great, honestly, I hate to say it, but that's how I really feel, So I'm always hesitant with asking them to come back on the channel because you never know what you're going to get, And I don't want to just put out content just to put out content where I ask all the questions and none of the answers are good. But this time, a lot of the answers were good. But I want to start out on a critical note of myself. Right? Like I said, it's been 24 hours since I actually had that chat with Cirilla, and there's a few things that I didn't ask her about, which I should have. I think overall, I did a fairly good job. I asked about a lot, which we're going to cover in today's video as well. But let me just put on Guild Boss. I'm distracting myself in the background here. Let's put in the Trunda team and just watch it in the background. Watch her do her thing, right?
We do not care.
There's a few things I should have asked about. First of all, I asked behind the scenes one of these questions and didn't have any answers for me. So I'm like, maybe I'm just not going to ask it just to ask it when I know there's no answer. But I think I probably should have just asked it anyway. And that is about like the time issue, in the game. And there's, they're going to continue looking at the time and continue to add things like super raids. They just did the quick battles in Clan Boss. And, I felt like, being that dead horse probably wasn't going to be the way to go. But I should have asked about the mythical skill tomes, how difficult it is to upgrade mythical champions. If there's going to be a ton more content added to the game, is any of that going to address that stuff, So I could have definitely, and I should have asked about that. What other regrets do I have in the interview? I felt like I went pretty hard at her in terms of trying to get more info about the new updates. And
from Faction Wars, you can also get a mythical champion in this area of the content.
What area did you say again? What was it?
No.
We have Clan Wars coming to the game, and we have an update that's going to be bigger than Doom Tower that's not the Void Rift. I'm not sure what else I could have asked her. I could have asked her if it was going to be like Mythical Champion centric or whatever. But anyway, those are my regrets. Is there anything else I missed? I'm sure you all have your own personal pain points in this game, like, oh, we need more silver. What about artifact removal costs and stuff like that? So, to be fair, there's probably a lot more things I could have asked, but I also had a half an hour, so I had to kind of work with the time that I had as well. Anyway, let's get to the crux of it here. And this is why I've never done a post-mortem like this after an interview, but I figured it might be kind of fun to kind of share my own opinions on the interview that I just had. We talked about Primal Shards and Mythical Champions. So she had no real good answer about, when is there ever going to be a 2x event or anything like that for Mythicals. Basically, it's like, yeah, at some point in the maybe distant future is kind of the impression that I got. So I'm not holding my breath, which sucks because I am holding my Primal Shards until then. Mythical Champions, they're going to release more. She said around 2 a month. And there's going to be a permanent mythical fusion added next week to the game, okay? So like a Rosin Scarhide of Mythical Champions added to the game permanently, which is really cool. She did say it's going to be very hard to get. I'm not sure exactly what she means by that. I mean, I guess it's going to be like legendaries that we fuse into it, I guess, And I'm sure the community is probably going to be in an uproar when they see how difficult it is. That's my prediction right there. So, On paper, it seems cool. We'll see how difficult it ends up being. I asked her about the free mythical that they teased. Where's this free mythical? She said it's going to be like how Faction Wars in Lydia is and how Hydra in Mithrala is. Whatever this big new update is, which we'll get to in just a moment, that's going to have the new free mythical attached to it as a reward for progressing in that area, okay? So it's not exactly free. Kinda, sorta. Progression mythical, I guess.
How much is this free resort weekend?
It's free.
And when is this weekend?
It's this weekend.
Uh-huh. And how much does it cost?
It's free.
I see. And when is it?
It's this weekend.
And what are you charging for this free weekend?
Come on, Dad, the team's arriving.
It's free, right?
Huge new update. She said, 2 times or 3 times that the big new update that is coming this year, which is the next 2 months, 3 months, is going to be huge, bigger than Doom Tower. Doom Tower, for me, is not even close. It had 8 bosses. That was the biggest update ever in Raid Shadow Legends. So I'm super excited because as I told her in the interview, I think the game's, frankly, for me, I'm just speaking for myself, I think the game's stale right now. I think the game's stale. So I don't know if it had the same effect on you. I haven't read any, obviously I haven't released the video, so I can't read your comments or your reactions yet. I hope you guys are going to be as optimistic about the future as I am, because I was worried. You probably could tell by the 20 videos I made talking about how worried I was. But I was worried about Raid, I really was. We needed some new compelling content, and it sounds like we're going to get it in a big, big way. And man, maybe I'm a sucker, maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm easy to please, but hell, I'm so happy to hear that. I really am. I was worried, I was worried that, because I read from you guys, hey, I don't play anymore, Ash, but I still watch all your videos. And as flattering and awesome as that is, it's like, I don't like reading hundreds of those comments of you guys. Like, none of my viewers play the game? What? So I'm very excited about that. Hopefully it's good enough to bring players back. And, I don't know. I kind of like the tower aesthetic and dynamic of Doom Tower. Maybe it's a new tower. I have no idea. Anyway, other big stuff, right? They're going to increase the artifact storage, the champion storage as well. The all that stuff is going to go up by 200 accessories, everything. That's great. They're going to rebalance polymorphs. You can only have 1 chance of polymorph per instance, per ability, So if you're like removing buffs or buffs and placing a bunch of debuffs or whatever, it can only have 1 shot. I think that's a pretty fair rebalance. I don't know about you guys. Let's see. We talked about the Corpulent Cadaver nerf is happening. They're going to cap the damage out of his A1. I'm happy about that personally. I know not all of you are going to be happy about it. But I am, because I'm sick of fighting Hydra Clash clans of like trillions of damage, frankly. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being, selfish about it, but that's how I feel. Champion rebalancing is going to kick off, but not for a couple months, where they're going to get much more aggressive. The first champions to be rebalanced are going to be Void Legendaries. She mentioned by name Fortis and Angar. Clan Wars is coming to the game next year. Hopefully early next year. So that's really cool. I mean, I told her this in the interview, and I'm sure, I don't know how you guys are going to react to it yet, but I feel like I'm just like over apologizing here, but I told her to be patient. Like, I told her to get it right versus rushing out something because they feel like they need something. Because listen, I mean, obviously revenue is declining for Raid. I mean, there's no doubt about it, right? I mean, they tweaked they went lower in prices on Primal Shards and Primal Mercy, not because of the kindness of their heart, because they weren't getting the money they thought they were going to get. Let's be real. If they were raking it in, they would not say, hey, we're going to lower prices, everybody.
Tell me what I need to do to change, okay? Just tell me what it is and I'll do it.
Can reduce your prices by 10%.
No, Kim, you make me happy.
Game's not, and fiscally, it's not in the best state right now, right? So that could lead them to potentially rush out a feature that they know is going to be, raise interest and, give them marketing opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. I encouraged her to not delay, but like get it right. Don't Clan Wars. Trust me on this one, because I started covering Clash of Clans in 2013 on YouTube before Clan Wars and Clash of Clans. And listen, that can be a make or break feature for this game. And I said that to Cirilla too. I actually said all this. But you need to nail it. You need to nail it, meaning the balance. You can't have mismatches. I mean, the absolute balance in clans and allowing the biggest whale and the smallest free to play that it coexists in a clan to both add some sort of value to the clan war. All right, not feel like they just have to rely on big spenders. She said it's going to be absolutely nothing like clan versus clan. It's going to be a dynamic, real life clan versus clan competition. So you guys know I just made a whole video talking about this last week, about how I feel like this is what the game needs. A dynamic way to play with your clan against other clans. That social element alone, I saw it in Clash of Clans. It gave the game 5, arguably 10 more years, maybe more, to its lifespan. That one feature. And I feel like if it's done correctly, it can happen in this game too. So I don't personally, again, I know a lot of you will disagree, but I don't mind waiting 6 months for that. If they get it right, you know? I don't want them to rush it out. So we have Clan Wars. We have the bigger than Doom Tower update coming. A bunch more quality of life stuff too that she mentioned. I'll let you guys go ahead and watch the interview, the full interview for all that stuff. But she mentioned probably like 5 or so things that I did not mention in this video. But I just want to end with saying that, like, as I mentioned earlier, I'm like thrilled. I couldn't have pictured it going any better. Is this game going to be perfect? No. Is it still going to be pop-ups and money hungry Plarium? Yes. So I don't expect those things to change. But I was worried that they were kind of giving up on the game a little bit, honestly. I never said that in a video, but we hadn't heard from them in so long. That's the biggest thing, right? They weren't communicating outside of, like, you know, a little bit of Discord stuff or Twitter or Facebook or whatever, but nothing like of here's what we're doing, here's our roadmap, here's what we're working on, we care about the game, we hear you guys. There's, you know, I asked also about the epic in rare empowerment, and they didn't have an answer for me. I also asked about the life tokens. Are they ever going to reset those? And she didn't have an answer. If she does get me an answer, I'll make a follow-up video on both of those topics, okay? Today or tomorrow. And I'm going to ping her after this to ask about for any follow-ups on those questions. But yeah, I'll leave the rest for the main interview. But I'm shocked, and frankly, I'm thrilled and optimistic for the future of Raid. And that's something that I did not expect to be saying today. So how do you guys feel? Let me know in the comments below, guys. But overall, I'm excited. I feel like this is what the game needs. A big update, and then next year, another big Clan War update. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.